it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught. John Moran in the clutch. Oh, my word. Oh, my God. Deep to right field. Way up there. And way out of here.
Down the sideline, Jefferson. Another huge run. Jalen Red broke tackle, stayed on his feet.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blake's Take with yours truly, Blake Neiman. And week 4 of the college football season brought forth some historic moments for various teams and one successful individual. Let's start with an incredible victory for our very own Oregon State Beavers, who defeated USC in the Coliseum for the first time since 1960. This is also the Beavs' first win in its conference opener since 2013, which ironically is the last time the Beavers made a bowl game. The Beavs dominated on both sides of the ball to score the most points they ever have against USC in their 79-year history with a 45-point beatdown. Offensively, the Beavers' ground game rolled for an impressive 319 yards, led by none other than B.J. Baylor, who rushed for a career-high 158 yards. Baylor's powerful running set up many passing lanes for Chance Nolan, who has been such a leader for the Beavers after they needed him to take over for Sam Neuer in the second half of their season opener against Purdue. Nolan made many impressive throws during exposing the Trojan secondary with an efficient 15 of 19 passing for 213 yards and 4 touchdowns. His best target of the night was Tyjon Lindsey, who finished with 5 catches for 102 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Defensively, the Bees created havoc for the Trojans, forcing 4 turnovers with Alton Julian and Rajon Wright, both coming up with interceptions. And then Crescent Valley alumni Omar Spates also had a fumble recovery, which set up a touchdown. And then there was Superman Jack Coletto, who was all over the place helping Oregon State out in several aspects of the game with 2 rushing touchdowns and a high point interception. He is quite a special asset to this team. It reminds me of Taysom Hill in those ways. Despite this success, Oregon State still didn't even put forth their best game, with penalties setting them back numerous times throughout the game. Luckily, they overcame these setbacks, but had they not had to deal with them in the first place, the Bees would have just roared through and made this a lot uglier for USC. The Beavers' bowl game hopes are looking very promising, knock on wood. With 8 games remaining and a week's strength of schedule, we could see the Beavs in a place they haven't been in quite some time. Now, for another historic win in the NC State Wolfpack, ending Clemson's college football playoff hopes with a jaw-dropping upset in double overtime. Clemson has had its close calls against ACC opponents in the past, but always has found their way to come out on top. Well, this time, something was different in the air. Clemson wasn't looking like their same high-powered offense and brutal defense like in years past. They let the Wolfpack hang around, making the home crowd hungry for an upset. The Pack dang near sent the Tigers packing in regulation with a potential game-winning 39-yard field goal, but the kick missed wide left, sending things into OT. In the first overtime, each team would trade a pair of touchdowns, which sent things to a second overtime. This time, NC State had the ball first, and Devin Leary connected with Devin Carter on an immaculate throw and catch in the corner of the end zone for the lead for the Wolfpack. Now, it was up to them to get a defensive stop for NC State. They held Clemson down and forced a 4th down throw for DJ Uiagalelei, but he wouldn't complete it, and Clemson gets stunned for their first loss against an unranked team in 36 games dating back to the 2017 season. This year things are just not the same for Clemson with the way that injuries have happened and several key defensive stars such as Brian Breezy, the star freshman, and James Skolaski, the star incredible leader on that team, holding down the defensive front. And for a lack of better words, their defense has been great, but it's just been a disappointing offense. Clemson is expected always to put up crooked numbers against ACC opponents on a regular basis. This year, it hasn't been that exact. It's been the exact opposite, as it has been a very close game every single game against every FBS opponent, and that they have faced thus far. It has been a long time since I've seen Clemson in this position and only put 214 yards of total offense in a game. Dabo Swinney is obviously not happy with this start to the season at all, let alone that the overall outcome will be, at this point, they're going to be fighting for an ACC championship and a New Year's Six Bowl, not a college football playoff. While Clemson may no longer be a playoff contender, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, as usual, is still in the conversation, with an undefeated record due in large part to their head coach Brian Kelly, who after Saturday's win over number 18 Wisconsin, passed the legendary Knute Rockne as the all-time winningest coach in Notre Dame football history. Since Kelly first arrived in 2010, he has posted 6 double-digit win seasons, including 4 in a row, while leading his team to the college football playoff twice, and finishing ranked in the AP Top 25 on 7 occasions. Despite these incredible accomplishments and 106 victories, Kelly is missing one thing from his resume: a national championship. The Fighting Irish have not been atop the college football playoff world, or just the college football world in general, before the college football playoff was established since 1988. This ever-growing drought has put a stereotype on Kelly as a coach that he can make good teams, but not great ones. Whether it's recruiting, coaching schemes, or personally just for Kelly, is going to have to figure things out a way to get that national championship ring, as Notre Dame is a program built on success and is a college football franchise that has won so many national championships early through the 1900s, and they won up through the 60s and 70s and 80s, and it's just kind of been a long drought since then. And the guy who's the winningest coach now in Notre Dame history is expected to end that drought, and I think he will. I think he has the possibility, but he's definitely going to have to step things up, because this accomplishment won't be as significant unless he can do so. So, hope you all enjoyed all those victories for Oregon State. Always like an upset with NC State. That's tough for Clemson fans. I have not seen Clemson like this in a while. Dabo Swinney has a problem on his hands for sure. We'll see if Brian Kelly can get the job done this year or in the next few years, because it's the missing piece of his incredible resume. Hope you all enjoyed. You can catch all this and more on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and or YouTube. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.